tune in to FNL Radio every Tuesday from 6 to 7 with your boy, your host, King JTH. It's your host, King JTH, here live on FNL Radio. We're going to start with the NCAA men and women's tournament. As we saw last night, LSU took on Iowa, and man, it was a game. I really thought LSU was going to pull it out in a close one and advance to the Final Four and eventually meet up with South Carolina in the NCAA championship game, but Caitlin Clark really put on a performance last night, dropping 41 points. She even had some Stephen Curry comparisons, how well she was performing. I really feel like these are the two best female basketball players in the NCAA, if not at least top 3 or top 4. Caitlin Clark is really showing that she deserved to be on the U.S. team, because I feel like both her and Angela Reese should have been on that team. And messed up my bracket a little bit because I had LSU upset South Carolina in the championship game. But I do think South Carolina and Iowa will meet up in the championship game. And then, man, I don't know who I'm going to pick. But I guess Caitlin Clark really can't be stopped. So I'm going to pick Iowa to win. And then we also had UConn and USC. UConn got it done. Juku Watkins, she put up a performance, but it wasn't enough. Paige Beckers, they had similar stats. Man, I'm not shocked at UConn. I picked UConn, but I was pulling for USC. It just wasn't in the makings. And then on the men's side, Purdue pulled through, which I expected. And then we have them. We have UConn. We have Alabama, and we have NC State. I was really hoping for Duke to pull through, but they didn't. And I almost picked Clemson over Alabama, but I wind up picking Alabama, and I'm glad that I stayed with my pick. On the men's side, I think it's going to be UConn and Purdue at the end, and I'm going to go with the defending champions to win, but I could really see Purdue winning as well. I also was pulling for Gonzaga, but anybody else got any thoughts on the NCAA tournament?
No, I think this is good. This is really good ball playing at this time. I mean, when you look at the teams that are making it, they are truly putting on a show, and you can tell that all of them are true ballers. They're doing a good job. They're doing a good job. I like both the men and the women's bracket, both of them. I mean, I've seen some great games this March Madness.
Agreed. Great performances.
Mm-hmm.
Any predictions on who you have winning?
Now I really don't even want to say. I like Purdue. Yeah,
Okay.
I like Purdue.
What about on the women's side?
After last night, if it's not Iowa, South Carolina they've been a beast in this too the whole time. I mean that's gonna be a good game. That's all I can say. They're gonna be a good game.
Oh yeah, I agree on the fact that it's definitely between those two on the women's side.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, we gotta talk about Kendrick Lamar. You heard it on the intro. Man, Drake and J. Cole had to respond. Like, they wasn't even trying to really beef with him, but he was just like, I'm number one. I'm number one. This it ain't no big three. It's the big me. You heard what he said. Big Sean did respond to it. So if Drake and J. Cole don't respond, K-Dot got it. I'm not gonna lie. I seemed out of the blue to me, but I mean, they in that era, so they kind of was sneak dissing for many years, but he done with the sneak dissing. He's shouting out names or shouting out songs, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anybody got any thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm.
I think that with that, you know, to me, when you start trying to like disrespect people or to come for them, that's not good in the music industry. It's not good. I don't think you should do that at all. I think your work should always speak for you. Let your work speak for you. Your what you do. If you are a true writer, rapper, singer, whatever it is, let them do your talking, not your mouth. When you do a lot of talking, it's not saying that you're doing a good job, but if your work talks for you, you can't do no better than that.
But I get what you're saying, but in that industry, it seemed like competition. Like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, it seems like even though they make songs together,
Mm-hmm.
they have good times together, I guess. It's competition. Whether it's friendly or not, it's kind of like sports. You know, some sports rivalries are friendly. Just like Angela Reese, she said she doesn't have no problems with Caitlin Clark, but back in the day, Isaiah Thomas had a lot of problems with Michael Jordan. So,
well, Michael Jordan was a problem. I mean, you know, he's a problem. Anytime when he stepped up, that was it. He was the GOAT, as they say. He was the one.
oh yeah. Well, also we gotta talk about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Man, Mike Tyson, your legacy on the line, man. Your legacy is on the line. You cannot lose to Jake Paul. You cannot tie with Jake Paul. Now the Floyd Mayweather said it. He was in it for the money. He clearly just wanted a paycheck because he should have won by like round 2 or round 3, if not round 1. Granted, Jake Paul is a good boxer. Very good boxer. He might even you can argue he's top, like out of the amateur boxers. You can argue he's not even an amateur boxer. Like I won't say top 1%, but maybe like you can argue he's top 5% or top 3%, top 2%. But there's levels. Mike Tyson is in the same conversation with guys like Muhammad Ali, guys like Joe Frazier, guys of that caliber. You know, like Floyd Mayweather, some people isn't really even in that conversation, even though he went undefeated because of his weight class. You know, he in the George Foreman is another person that he's in the conversation with. So I need 13-second Mike. I need 13-second Mike.
Mike back in the day, he was that 13-second Mike. I mean, he would be, you know, knocking them out before you even got in your chair good. People used to be mad when they go to the fights because Mike would have them out of there the first round. I mean, you know, but it's been some years now. And I don't take nothing away from Mike ever.
But do you not see the physique? I'm not trying to glaze, but do you not see the physique?
He look like he in good shape. I see him putting in that work.
This man look like he can compete in the world's strongest competition right now.
He's still
at his age.
He's getting up there though, almost 60.
Shoot, he almost look like he can go on the football field.
What you think?
Hard to say, but Jake Paul, don't really know too much about him, his boxing career, but I do know Mike Tyson's legacy, one of the greatest boxers ever.
Right.
Bit the guy's ear off back in his prime. That's not a guy I'm messing with if I ever run into him. He was like one of the last people on planet Earth that I'd pick a fight with.
Yeah, he's good.
I want to see Jake Paul get the crap beat out of him.
I agree.
Predictions. Well, I think Mike Tyson is going to drag the fight a little bit like Jake Paul, or like Floyd Mayweather, but I see him closing the deal out in like the 6th round at max. The earliest, I think he's going to drag it out a little bit. It's like the 4th round. I do think it's a money thing, so he's not just going to knock him out. Otherwise, because Jake Paul will get killed. His family is just like, don't get in the ring with this man. I don't care how much money it is.
That's right. If your mother tell you don't get in the ring with somebody, you need to listen to your mother there. She was like, no, you don't need to do that. But let me ask the question. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he has to come in under a certain weight. Am I correct?
Most likely, yes.
Mike Tyson he's supposed to come in under a certain weight. And I think it was like 160. Maybe somebody can Google that. What weight is he supposed to come in for this fight? The second thing is, I think that he's supposed to be able to tag out, and Jake Paul can tag his brother in the fight. Am I correct on that?
Mike Tyson could take him 2-on-1. He should be able to take him 2-on-1. I seen what this man did in his prime.
Because this, so that's the number 2 point. The number 3 point is, isn't he supposed to be able to have headgear on too? Like Jake Paul didn't want to get his head knocked off, so he's supposed to have headgear as well. So those are 3 pretty big points right there.
That's why I gave this man 6 rounds.
Am I right on all 3 of those points? Are those right? Am I right?
I would have to look into it more detail, but some of them, at least one of them, probably correct. Maybe 2.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if all 3 of them are correct.
Okay.
Anybody else got anything to say about it?
I'm looking for you.
Yeah, to me, this should be a good. Jake Paul is not I don't want to consider him like a real professional fighter. Like there's a difference between amateur and professional. Just like with anything else. When you look at people who are good amateur basketball players, and then you look at the professional basketball players, there's a difference. So I think you got to look at those things that really make a difference, and I think that would make a big difference. I do.
Okay. We're gonna move on to NBA reviews and previews of the upcoming games and last night games. Memphis cut it pretty close with Detroit. That's not supposed to happen, but they did win. 110 to 108. They closed it out late. Had a pretty decent 4th quarter. Jaren Jackson Jr. dropped 40 points and 7 rebounds, which you're supposed to do that on Detroit. Cade Cunningham continues to put up 25 to 30 points a game, but this night he dropped 38 and 8. I mean, I feel bad for the kid. The kid got a lot of talent. You could argue he's a top 50 player in the NBA. He's just on the worst team in the NBA, and the only team that's even close to being as bad is the Wizards, which I actually did watch that game. It wound up being an entertaining game. Not gonna lie, but Detroit did get that one.
I